LaRussell didn't lie. DJ Vlad did.
Oh man, Roc Nation and TDE, y'all are getting cooked out here. Now it seems like ever since Jay-Z chose Kendrick Lamar over Wayne to perform at the Super Bowl last year, a lot of people feel like Roc Nation and TDE are in cahoots to ruin Wayne's legacy. And then you add in Drake into the equation, which complicates things even more. And let's not forget about Nicki Minaj, who has been going against Jay-Z for the last couple of years. So anytime Jay-Z's name is mentioned in anything that has to do with Wayne, Drake, or Nicki Minaj, whether directly or indirectly, everybody loses their fucking mind. Now, last night, Roc Nation's newest artist, LaRussell, who used to preach about being independent, but after a couple meetings with Jay-Z, he signed a partnership with Roc Nation. LaRussell has been catching a lot of heat over the last 24 hours for saying this about Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
I gotta respect
he had a conviction.
I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like, I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing for a long time. And
I think that's what his argument was.
You know, like, as someone who like grew up in these communities,
right,
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be bloods because they following Wayne and want to be gangster and want to shoot all the gun bar and shit.
Right.
Like, I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And that do bother me. Man, Tie My Hands.
That's
one
what
of the
I was going to
greatest
say. Tie
records,
My Hands
right?
is the only one I
and
can
that,
think
and,
of.
and that's the thing. It's like, if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, you know, your affinity for me is going, you're probably going to remember me for this. And a lot of people don't, you know, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn. Yeah. Like, I love you because I learned how to rap to you, but when you look at the contribution, it's like, man.
Now, people immediately said, bruh, how convenient is this? You signed to Jay-Z, and now you're bashing Lil Wayne. If you guys follow Vlad on Twitter, you guys know Vlad loves to troll. So after seeing people blaming Jay-Z for LaRussell and his take about Lil Wayne, Vlad said, all right, hold on, let me cook up a viral tweet. Vlad tweeted saying, I have a confession. Roc Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. And they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The LA police are all on Jay-Z's payroll. And it doesn't stop with LA. But you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal, all paid off by the Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay-Z wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep this lie secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me.
What's up, words? Boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit notification bell. Keep sending those cash outs to CLBMG. Join that membership, and all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. First things first, go down in my bio. Click those links. I got Temu down there. I got ReStream. I got DistroKid. Support the channel. Show your boy some love. All right, listen. So, LaRussell. LaRussell is an independent artist who signed to Roc Nation. What I want to talk about right now is how ridiculous, gang, and I have to keep it a buck. Some of the stuff I do not talk about very much. It's not that I don't have a handle on it or something that's out of my wheelhouse. I just don't like to talk about it because of at the risk of offending some of my political connections, some of you people who may like you. A lot of weirdos get involved when you whisper the words Roc Nation or Megan and Tory. I don't talk about that stuff no more because it gets too wonky and you bring out all the spiders come out, gang. It's like all the cobwebs come out, all the creepy crawlers, all the weirdos, the Addams Family people, the people that believe any and everything, all of the people that really don't got a good handle on how things really work in the real world, and I don't really want to talk about it because it's almost not even worth it to me, be honest, it's not worth it to discuss, because when you bring stuff in that's going to bring weirdos and sycophants or whatever you want to call it, I don't really want to discuss it. But today we're going to discuss it because these people can't understand when something is a joke or a parody. And I want to talk about this. These people are so entrenched in this Roc Nation supremacy. Roc Nation runs to the fucking Roc Nation. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, literally, you could say Roc Nation has a bomb on the moon and they're going to blow up the moon in 2 weeks. They'll start retweeting that saying, I knew it. I told you that Jay-Z was going to blow up the moon. Gang, it's warped mentality, it's top behavior, and it's almost, I'm just going to say, it's beneath most of us, let alone me, to sit here and have a conversation with nonsense. But we're going to do it today. We're going to talk about nonsense today. All right? It's a whole winding path of things that happen. It's a whole not a trilogy, but something like that. Something that happened. This thing begot that thing, and that thing begot the third thing, and here we are. So I want to have a conversation because I'm seeing people that probably are well-adjusted, normal people in the real world. They're online and they saw this DJ Vlad tweet. They lost their mind and started to actually believe it, okay? But we're going to go a roundabout way to get there. LaRussell is an independent artist who just signed to the dastardly Roc Nation. He just sold his soul to Roc Nation right now. In full disclosure, two things I'm going to tell you about LaRussell. For one, I don't listen to a lot of LaRussell music at all. I'm just going to be honest with that thing. But for two, I don't understand why someone who is being championed for being such an independent artist would even sign to anyone, let alone a Roc Nation. But that's neither here nor there. I know Jay-Z does a lot for independent art. He does a lot for artists that are on their way up. But regardless of the name they try to pin on them, and regardless of the things they say that Jay-Z did and did not do, Jay-Z tries to do a lot for a lot of artists. And speaking of Lil Wayne, Jay-Z paid Lil Wayne's taxes, millions of dollars that Lil Wayne did not have. Jay-Z paid that. So let's start there. Before, a lot of people have been running with the narrative that Jay-Z's trying to destroy Lil Wayne's legacy, right? Incorrectly, right? With this Super Bowl thing, this, that, and the third, but we're going to get to all of that. But like I said, I don't listen to a lot of LaRussell music, if any. I really only heard of LaRussell because of his independent stance, where he took a little and made it a lot and showed people, he walked people through how to become an independent, similar to Russ. Like Russ did his thing. Russ is like, yo, you got to drop new music constantly. You got to drop new singles every week. Every Friday, I dropped a new single. So it's these things that these guys have implemented in their strategies to be successful indie artists. And LaRussell apparently was one of those, right? For some reason, LaRussell took all of that cachet and all of that clout and that credibility that he built up in the independent lane, and he went and signed it all the way to Roc Nation. Again, I don't understand why a guy that success. I can see a guy trying to make it, trying to come up. LaRussell already has fans. He already has a buzz. He already is doing his thing. Whatever reason he felt that Roc Nation distribution deal was worth it, you're going to say, Charles, well, Kendrick got a distribution deal with UMG and Drake does too. That is the next level. Some people are going to say that, and that's fine. I'm not saying he should have or he shouldn't have. I need that to be clear. I don't have a dog in the fight because I don't know enough about the deal. I do know that it's a distribution deal, and I'm sure that Jay-Z has a lot. He spiced up the offer and a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I'm just telling you, the optics don't look good. When Roc Nation is so controversial out here, LaRussell has become under attack. He's become a target in these attacks now that he's aligned himself with Roc Nation. So I want to start there before I even get to the DJ Vlad situation, because the DJ Vlad thing, like the title says, LaRussell didn't lie because he went on a podcast, but DJ Vlad did lie. But it's more of a parody. Vlad was obviously, by the third paragraph, you realize, oh, Vlad is trolling. Vlad is a troll. Vlad will tell you himself. He loves when he goes viral. He loves it. He'll never let you forget it. If you watch any form of Vlad TV, Vlad will tell you straight up, I love when I go viral. Every time he gets a viral tweet, he reminds you for 2 months about that viral tweet or this, that, and the third. He brings it up over and over. So Vlad does these things to go viral. And you got to understand the world we live in 2026, guys. Some people sit back and think of stuff. They go, if I write this and combine it with that and say that magic trigger word, voila, I got the whole internet going crazy. And Vlad has mastered that. I want to say every month and a half, DJ Academics, they've mastered that, gang. And to a degree, some of these other people, Nicki Minaj, some of these people, they know these trigger words to say to get that splash all over the internet. Vlad has mastered that. Right? So I'm going to get to Vlad in a minute because this is 100% a troll. And he sat back like Mr. Burns up in the, you know what I'm saying, the nuclear plant, like, got these motherfuckers. So Vlad knows what he's doing. That's why I said Vlad did lie. But a lie can be, it's literally lies. Let's just be, he's really liable, let's be honest, because the way the tweet's taking off. But let's stay focused. Let's start with LaRussell. LaRussell, who just signed the Roc Nation, right? The Roc Supremacy, Jay-Z and them, right? And the Dastardly, what's her name? Perez, whatever her name is, right? LaRussell signed to them, and that went crazy online. It was a 50-50 split down the middle. People were losing their minds because, again, we got these people who look at Roc Nation as this catch-all of evil, right? Right? The bad thing, all the bad things incarnate, right? Everything just boom, hell on wheels, all that good shit, like Lucifer, everything is Roc Nation. LaRussell took a chance with Roc Nation. I'm sure he has to know how people feel about Roc Nation. There's no way he doesn't know. If he doesn't know how people feel about Roc Nation, he might want to not be online at all, because that is a very hot button issue. Now, let me read this, and I want to have this conversation because he went on a podcast and said some things about Lil Wayne, and I'm just going to say this. What he said about Lil Wayne was true. He said it about Lil Wayne was true. Like I said, when I do these podcasts, when I do these episodes and these talking facts, I'm going to offend somebody, gang. It's going to happen. Some of these things are just, they're facts. But facts hurt. Somebody's going to get in my comments and get mad that I said what LaRussell said was true. What LaRussell said was Lil Wayne been rapping for all these years. He got very little substance. It's just a fact. We're not saying he can't rap. We're not saying he's not good. LaRussell's a fan of Lil Wayne. But when you peel back the layers, what has Lil Wayne really been saying for the last 15, 20 years? Okay? You're going to have to dig really deep to get that conscious record. And then people in the comments like, yo, you ain't got to be conscious. No, he don't got to be conscious. But when we're stating facts, right? He ain't got to be conscious. But that's what we're saying. We're saying Lil Wayne don't really say much of nothing. He just a whole lot of this, that, and the third. Some of these daggone bars and these daggone metaphors and similes. Some of this stuff, you'd be like, oh, really? It's like some of this shit mad cringe now. And let's be honest, a lot of Lil Wayne fans who really, really loved him were young when they fell in love with him and they grew up with him. And LaRussell was saying, I grew up and started to mature and started to really listen to Lil Wayne. You gotta think, when you're young, a lot of immature shit sounds really fucking dope. A lot of little shit that's really childish sounds really fucking dope to you. So LaRussell's like, when I grew up and started to mature, I grew out of what Lil Wayne was saying. Lil Wayne, to me, did not progress with the game. He did not. When he went and did the Carter 2 and 3, this, and the third, he was progressing in the game. He was trying to be a better MC. As it started to, and even those ain't that a whole lot of substance in that, right? He started to want to be just bigger and better, and that'll make bigger hits, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Wear this crown, be this for numbers. It started to become a numbers thing. Rap became a numbers thing years ago. It became a numbers thing. So you can't be all that conscious, right? You got to understand, K-Dot was going against the grain with all this stuff he was doing. How much does $1 cost? All these records like that. He was putting his career on the line with these records about God and Jesus, this, that, and the third, right? Last motherfucker really effectively coordinated his career with Jesus is Kanye. Jesus walks, and a whole bunch of Christian rappers. Right? Lecrae and these other people, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're full-on Christian, then yeah, all day you're talking about that. But if you're trying to be in the conversation, the zeitgeist of real hip-hop, and you ain't tagging yourself as a Christian rapper, you're really risking yourself being too conscious and too spiritual. So the last person really was doing a lot of that was Kanye. Before we got the brand new Kanye. So at the end of the day, this is what LaRussell was saying, that Lil Wayne effectively he built a whole career. He built a mansion of dope ass songs and a whole lot of heartstrings and people that love what he's done. But at the end of the day, when you peel back the layers, there ain't nothing behind those walls. That whole brick house mansion, when you look behind it, it ain't a lot of substance there. It's a fact. Let me read this article, and I'm gonna return with all with a follow up. But LaRussell provides more context to his controversial Lil Wayne comments. So he spoke on it, and I played the video in the beginning. Hopefully they let me keep it there. Salute to that podcast. But LaRussell, he breaks it down because he goes more deeper into it. But what had happened, he went on the podcast and said Lil Wayne ain't got no substance. He used to love him, . So, of course, the internet went crazy. They started with all these things. this, that, and the third, and a lot of those things related back to Roc Nation. Now you sign to Roc Nation. Now you're on the board, and Jay-Z is paying you to destroy Lil Wayne's and slander his name. Okay, this is where all this Roc Nation connection is from. They're accusing LaRussell of all of a sudden getting this deal. Now he's being paid and forced to slander Lil Wayne's name. I don't think you got to slander Wayne's name right now, but they're saying it's been effectively happening for years before Lil Wayne dropped the Carter 6 and all these different things that made him look bad, okay? And Lil Wayne ain't helped his case by being salty all the time about this, that, and the third. So it kind of helped his own case to be destroyed, but let's just stay focused. Let me read this. LaRussell said during the podcast that after he grew up, he came to the conclusion that Lil Wayne doesn't have much substance in his music. Hip-hop debates are always fiery among fans, but LaRussell recently learned the hard way that the conversation can be given more combative when you are an artist. After his controversial comments about Lil Wayne on the podcast, The Truth Hurts, that's the name of the podcast, he took to his Twitter page to explain himself more. So, first things first, artists got opinions too. And we see artists go out here and say these opinions, this, that, and the third. And sometimes they don't expect it to blow up. They don't expect it to be this, that, and the third. A lot of these artists don't understand that things you say, words hurt, right? So things you say going to hurt somebody. Somebody's going to get mad. They're going to get offended. Then they're going to start trying to figure out how to hurt you back. And they're going to be trying to figure out how to tie your words into some random-ass conspiracy. So now the conspiracy is, oh, you're getting paid by Roc Nation. That's what's going on. You signed to Jay-Z. Now y'all here to destroy Lil Wayne's legacy. Lil Wayne don't need no help destroying his legacy. He's ruining himself. He's running himself, going around. He's reading off cue cards when he's performing. He's having horrible shows. He's doing rock and roll songs in the middle of his set. Half the people walking out. So Lil Wayne he's forgetting lyrics, this, that, and the third. He's missing the performances, and when he get there, he's not prepared to do it. So he's having no trouble ruining his legacy. Nobody has to do anything. You can just sit back and watch. Right at this point, you can just sit back and watch the show. Right? Grab you a glass of Chablis and just watch the show. Lil Wayne's crashing his own shit down. All the bitching and moaning about he didn't get the Super Bowl, he didn't get a Grammy. Every time he feels something, he feels a way, he goes online and says it out loud. That right there is ruining his own legacy. Nobody's doing that. Jay-Z ain't paying nobody to do that. Right? If anything, Jay-Z got more love for Lil Wayne than most of these motherfuckers that say they do. Because a lot of them wouldn't have paid no millions of dollars to get him out of his tax shit, whether they had it or not. But they love Lil Wayne. But let me continue. Basically, the Vallejo rapper said that after he grew up, he came to the conclusion that Weezy doesn't have a lot of lyrical substance in his catalog, and he don't, gang. I know some of you guys don't like to hear that. It's not so lyrical, right? That's like me going around being like, yo, Redman, this nigga got most of it. No, we love Redman. Redman is nice, but he's not in his shit for substance. He's in for shock and awe, bar for bar, straight up rapper that's just barring you up and being a real MC that is there for punchlines, witty bars, and witty hooks and this, that, and the third. We love Redman for what he brings to the table, but you're not going to get a lot of the black experience. Yeah, you're going to get the black experience from the other side. Right? It's niggas with a 40 on the block with a Glock on their hip. That's the shit you're going to get from Redman and Wayne. So that's what we're saying. We're not saying that he's right, wrong, and different. He's bringing you the black experience, but it's some hood shit. And it ain't going to be real deep, right? When Outkast first came out, they was hood rappers. As they progressed and got older, they started to get much more. And even in their early stuff, they was conscious. Black from the very beginning, Outkast shit had conscious elements throughout it. That's why we fell in love with it. And when we waited for them albums, we expected more of the same. And Outkast grew up with us. We didn't start being like, yo, you know what? This nigga Andre ain't really saying that. No, this motherfucker's saying shit right now. And that's what we're talking about. That's what LaRussell was trying to say. So let me continue. Fans immediately clapped back, accusing his recent Jay-Z deal for distribution from Roc Nation of influencing this attack on Young Money. Fans have peddled similar conspiracy theories concerning Drake bashing or criticism of Nicki Minaj. So that's the thing. Now, you can't criticize these guys because they want to spin it back to Nicki fans, to Drake fans. It all ends back with Jay-Z and Roc Nation is paying for it. No, Mike G, people feel this way. You don't need nobody to pay you to find these narratives on Twitter or anywhere else. Sometimes a narrative is just a real narrative that people already have come to conclusions about. They're not being paid and funded by Jay-Z and Desiree Perez, all this shit. People like to demonize people because they like their favorite artists. And like I said, I don't talk about Tory and Megan no more. I stopped talking about that shit about 2-3 years ago. Okay? So, end of the day, it get too wonky. And I don't even care enough to be like, yo, trying to sit there and fight with these motherfuckers. I'm on record saying this, that, and the third. And I'm not even getting into it. But at the end of the day, I don't talk about it no more because simple fact of the matter is I'm not going to keep going on and on in circles about some shit. So what I'm saying is people have taken sides. right? They've taken sides. They've landed on this side or the other, and they're not budging. And so they're making up conspiracy theories to make their side right, wrong, or indifferent, right? End of the day, when I'm looking at this, a lot of this stuff stems from those fan bases right there. Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj, right? 3 of the most crash out fan bases in history, right? Okay, so end of the day, that's where this stuff starts at with them. So now they've blamed Roc Nation, and now Roc Nation is the end all be all of everything. So let me continue. As such, Russell took to Twitter to add an edit of more clips of the podcast segment where these comments landed, hoping to add more context of his genuine Wayne fandom. Quote, full context, case closed, wrap it up. The media will have you making an enemy out of a hero. Weezy, I love you. Good day, losers. This is what he won't have to understand. I don't know if he may be trolling like Vlad. We're going to get to Vlad in a minute. He needs to stop, okay? You're never going to talk your way out of these things. Once these things get rolling, they're like snowballs. You can every time you jump up and try to defend yourself and you're calling people losers, this, that, and the third, you're getting in front of that snowball. That shit gonna roll you down the hill backwards because they want the smoke. They want you to respond. They want you to overreact. Now you're triggering them all over again. So now your next project to come out, they're going to be trashing that shit for 2 weeks straight before they even listen to it. They won't ever listen to it. They're going to put trash cans under your shit without even giving you 2 seconds of time to hear your shit because you're making enemies with these guys. This is what we've seen with Kendrick. We've seen this with the Clips, whoever it is. Once you make enemies with that fan base, it's up for life. They don't care. They do not play fair. They don't care. So they'll align you with every single solitary kind of bad thing that they can. They're going to have you in the Epstein's files in 2 weeks. They're going to find a way to put you in there. So at the end of the day, what we're seeing is LaRussell has caved to the pressure and tried to clear his name. Ain't no clearing your name with these wackos, gang. These guys are topped in their head, gang. Everything you say can and will be used against you. But let me continue. Here's partly what the Make Hip Hop Fun Again artist said before the critical parts of his Tunchi assessment. Quote, then I found Lil Wayne. One of the homies put me on Wayne, and it was like bars. I used to have a notebook, bars. So there's 2 introductions to Wayne. There's an introduction to Wayne that's through culture and your parents that you have no merit in. And then there's an introduction when you get to a dive. Mine's, I think it was like The Drought 2. And that was my reintroduction, man. Dedication mixtape, The Droughts. I just got immersed. This was pre-No Ceilings. I love Wayne so much, but I understand how someone could be like, man, this isn't the Wayne that I remember. A lot of people say this ain't the Wayne that they remember. LaRussell, you didn't say nothing wrong, and now you're trying to prove to everybody how much you love him. It doesn't matter. His fans don't care. They don't want to know. You're not gonna. Only thing you're gonna reach out to is logical people like me. They're gonna listen to that and say, okay, he had an affinity for the guy. This, that, and the third. We're gonna logically and objectively weigh the whole thing and say, okay, he meant it this way. I didn't even need that context, gang. I didn't need that context. But some people are going to listen to that and be like, okay, he not just hating on Wayne. He really like to do. But some people are going to say, man, you making excuses. Because you literally, what you said is what you really said. It, gang, it don't need no context. You said what you said and you meant it. So at this point, you got to stand on it. You can't go back and tell all these other. This is what I don't try to do. When I go on, they killing me online about the Cole shit I say, about the Drake shit I say, whatever I say about anybody, they killing me. I pissed off every fan base in hip hop. You think I'm going to go back and try to double back? Well, let me explain, but fuck that. Like, I'm going to say it, I'm going to stand it, I'm going to make the next video, move on with my life. I'm not going to sit here, double back, try to show you other clips, this, that, and the third. That's what you feel, and that's what you feel, right? Most of these people are never going to listen to what you say. They're just going to go at you constantly and try to bring you down. So, LaRussell, you got to understand, just move away from it. Move on, get to the music. Don't even address it in your music. It ain't going to work, all right? Let me continue. I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community. This is what he wrote. This is what he said. And I have to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave gave. This question mark right there. LaRussell said of Lil Wayne in the clip that went viral. Also, he said, out of 1,000 song catalog, it's a minute on this end, he went on. Man, Tie My Hands, one of the greatest records ever. If I hug you once, but if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out of you 1,000 times, your affinity for me, you're probably going to remember me for this. And that's a fact. So what he's trying to say is, Lil Wayne could have 1 or 2 conscious records that you can cherry pick and find, but he's slapping you with 500 other joints that's just straight bars and then talking goony google shit about girls and sex and alcohol and this, that, and the third. And it's the same typical Wayne shit, and you either like it or you don't. So there's no way to explain your way out of this, and that's what LaRussell's trying to do. Okay, now saying all that, they're accusing him of this Roc Nation collaboration, and that's what's making him go rogue. And now he again, now he two big boned brothers. Oh shit, this is what it is. Oh, LaRussell done flipped. He sold his soul. I seen a bunch of videos. I ain't clicked none of them because I don't know the young man like that. I don't care. I'm gonna let time play out and see what it is. I don't want to figure out is he selling out. Da da da. I'm not here for that. At the end of the day, I'm going to let that young man do what he does and let the music speak for itself. I don't know why he signed to Roc Nation. I don't know why he sat down with Jay-Z. But Jay's out here scouting right now. Jay's trying to rule in every single solitary. Jay's competitive. So if he see niggas over making money in music, he going to try to rule over there. He see you making money in sports, he going to try to rule over there. So he going to figure out who can I grab up, because it ain't a lot of people that's doing a lot of really conscious stuff that you can still sell to artists and get a fan base. So that's not an easy thing to do in this music no more. For a couple years ago, everybody wanted a young thug type. Give me a young thug type. Yo, I got an artist for you. Yeah, do he got tattoos? Is he skinny? Do he got dress? Does he take his shirt off a lot? Does he drink a lot of codeine? Well, yeah, send him on over. they want that archetype. Now they're not looking for that. They're trying to find a Kendrick now. So Jay-Z, now he's realizing where the game is going. But let me continue. So with all that controversy going on about LaRussell and this whole Roc Nation thing, it don't take much to dust up a whole Roc Nation conversation online. You could do that. You could just throw a frisbee and it'll hit somebody that have a Roc Nation conversation. That's every single week. But the real situation came outside of that. Once LaRussell had that situation, they was already on Roc Nation, this, that, and the third. Vlad. Now, I told you, Vlad loves to go viral. Vlad gonna do whatever it takes to go viral. He sit back. This is the henchman guy. He sit back like he's on some, like I said, Mr. Burns shit. So he cooked up this tweet, right? Now, I want to talk about this because anybody that's not tapped in their head, right? Right, you know, when the doctor take you out of the womb, he got to be real careful not to touch your forehead. Well, some of you guys, the doctor grabbed your head like a bowling ball, and he pushed his fingers down in your brain. I'm just gonna be honest, because some of y'all slow as shit, right? So at the end of the day, Vlad wrote this whole thing, and what happened was people thought that he was serious. So on top of the LaRussell shit, now DJ Vlad coming out. Here we go. This is all we needed. I told y'all, Vlad. I told you the Roc Nation. They're ruling the world. They're trying to take over. They're gonna kill everybody. So let me read this situation with what happened with DJ Vlad. So what Vlad posted is this: I have a confession. Roc Nation has been paying me to support Megan. That's all they needed to hear. Whoop whoop whoop. The sirens went off. The alarm bells went off. Oh shit! Vlad, Roc Nation supporting. So that's the trigger already right there. So let me continue. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. Oh my God, like the little African boy. Aye, my God. So now it's forget it. They don't need to read. Don't even read the rest. To pay him to support Megan, convict Tory. DN. Boom. Retweet. Bang bang. They ran with it. They didn't keep reading, but I'm gonna keep reading for you. Then he goes. They also bribed the judge too. Right. If you think they really did that, and Vlad will put this in a tweet, you done lost your mind. Right. You need a candy cane right in your ear. Let me continue. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. So now, right there, it's called a parody. It's sarcasm, right? He said Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. Vlad is saying that the judge has a grandson and Jay-Z don't drop no verse. These people not thinking clearly, gang. They don't care. Jay-Z not dropping a verse for nobody's grandson. Okay? But it's sarcasm. He's trying to be funny in a dry humor, da-da-da. But he's not putting no smiling faces, no happy faces. He's not putting no laughing emojis. It's all straight, right? He knows this is going to trigger. He's literally lying, but we're not going to call it lying because this is supposed to be sarcasm. But he's literally lying. All these are lies. And I'm sure Roc Nation's lawyer is going to print this out, put this on a bulletin board, and say we got to get this shit right, and we got to get this nigga right now. I'm just gonna be honest. They're gonna print it out, put it on the bulletin board, and say this is DJ Vlad. We're going to sue DJ Vlad. I'm just going to be honest. DJ Vlad probably cleared this with his lawyer team, his legal team, and he loves to smoke. He would love to go the next 2 years, get his sued by Roc Nation. That'll put him through the roof. But it ain't going to end how he want because this is slander. Because he don't have no laughing emojis. Vlad, the same guy that just sued, what's this guy? Homeboy right out here from Mass. He just sued him, right, for using his content, right? So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like Vlad, like you're very touchy about who can say what and do what with your content and about your name, right? But now you're sitting here, you're going to do the exact same thing, whereas you're going to you're slandering this guy's name. Let's just be honest. But let me continue. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. This is for people who it's supposed to trigger the weirdos, right? But it's also supposed to be funny to people like me who can decipher nonsense. Oh, yeah, all this shit sounds stupid. If you understand the game, he's trying to be sarcastic and be like, how dumb are you to believe these things? But the dummies believe these things. So he's telling you, he's really condescending and making you feel like a moron to believe these things. What he don't understand, well, he probably do, but what he appears to understand is how dumb these motherfuckers are. They'll really believe it. They'll be like, oh shit, I told you pay the doctor off. Oh shit, I told you pay the LAPD. Oh shit. So he doesn't understand, or maybe he does, that these motherfuckers are going to take this the wrong way. But let me continue. She was never shot, right? It's tongue in cheek. He's trying to show you the absurdity of what they say on his line, but he can't do that because these people, they don't have critical thinking skills. Let me continue. The LAPD are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA, but you are not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? So now he's accusing them of paying the Mexican guy to stab Tory. It's all over the place now, gang. This is next level of nonsense, but it is what it is, and they all believe this though, right? I told you I'm gonna offend somebody. Some of you gonna get really mad, but unsubscribe because Charles. It's gonna be whatever. If you gotta go, then go ahead and go. It is what it is. I'm not gonna stop you. If you gotta go because I don't believe none of this Roc Nation did this, that, and the third shit, it's an unsubscribe button. You can do whatever. All right, let me continue. The three Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal, all paid off by the Roc Mafia. Right there, he's playing with you. He's playing with you guys. You ran with it. You're hitting retweet. You're tagging your cousin and everybody. You're tagging Jay-Z and you're tagging Roc Nation. Like you're getting out of control, gang. And you are the weirdos that keep people from having serious conversations about this. You can't have them no more. But let me continue. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Listen to that. You're paying Trump not to pardon Tory Lane. It's going this far. Why? Gang, let's just give me 14 seconds of your time. Why does Jay care that Tory gets out or not? Why? I need you to make sense. Before we go any further, go in the comments and say, tell me why Jay-Z needs Tory to stay in prison. How does Tory being out of prison affect Jay-Z or Megan at this point? How does it happen? Please let me know. Okay? I don't think he's going to spend this. At this point, this is millions of dollars to keep this man in prison. Millions. I don't think he can stop the music. The nigga made about 3 fucking records since then. So you're not stopping this guy's voice. So he still has a voice. So what are you doing? What is the point at this point to put all this money to keep him in prison? But let me continue. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. Right here, he's explaining to you how retarded you sound. It's very sarcastic. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. He's right there. He's explaining to you in case you guys are this far down in this post and you still don't know that I am like clowning you and everything that you believe in. Let me throw this in and let me explain to you. He's explaining to you in a sarcastic post that's supposed to be full parody. He still is explaining to you that you're a moron. Okay, let me continue. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. Right? That right there deserves a smiley face. There is none there. I can't keep all these lies secret no more. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. It got 10.4 million views. Vlad indeed went viral again. He's somewhere, on some Fred Flintstone shit. He's having a blast. People are down here telling him stuff that, like, let me show you the legendaries, a blue check. He says, now, I want you to be very aware that you're accusing Hov of doing what you're accusing Hov of doing. This is from this soliloquy, you're accusing him of orchestrating an attempted murder, unlawful bribery, and payola. Yes, he's accusing him of all that. But that's what it sounds like. And everybody that don't understand that he's trying to make a mockery of what you believe in, they ran with it and decided, oh my God, I got him. We got him, gang. Out of Vlad's own mouth. Right now, you do got some logical people in the comments telling them y'all need to go to the hospital after you believe this shit. But you got some people talking about where's the proof? I don't know, gang. I don't know, and that's just a slight touch of what's going on in these comments, gang. They're talking about Israel, all kind of shit. It gets insane. This is why I don't talk about it. It's certain shit that gets so insane, it gets so out of pocket, that I don't discuss it. But this time I wanted to, because at the end of the day, LaRussell just speaking his mind. He said what he said was facts. For you Lil Wayne people that don't understand, he said facts. Lil Wayne does not have a lot of substance. He has a lot of nice, really cool bars and one-liners and punchlines and this, that, and the third. Some really cool records you could jam to in the club, right? Jamming on the one. You could jam to in the club, smoke your hookah, drink your drink, and have a great night. Chicks gonna get naked to it and all that. But at the end of the day, it ain't a lot of substance there. It's just a fact. People gotta stop. What he should have did was, after he said that, dropped the mic, moved on with his life. Don't try to defend it. It's a fact. You can't defend facts more than they stand on their own. So you don't need to defend facts, start running to them. Yo, I really love Wayne. I'm gonna show you how much. No. You're making social media mistakes. Don't say shit you don't really stand on, for one. And for two, when you say it, stand on it. Don't try to explain how much you really love Wayne. You could be a fucking Wayne hater. It's still a fact is a fact. All right? End of the day, LaRussell, man, listen. Do your thing. Best of luck with your endeavors, right? And at the end of the day, y'all got to understand, everything not going to rub your ego. Some stuff gonna hurt your feelings. If that hurt your feelings, gang, then you probably need psychiatric help. Lil Wayne is not he ain't that sturdy to be writing a whole lot of substance shit anyway. He don't want to and never has and never will. Okay? I'll say it. I'll take it. I'll do it, right? I'll say it for free. Shit, fuck out of here. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this. You guys gotta get a grip. But a lot of these Wayne fans, Nicki fans, Drake fans, it's impossible to get a grip because they come in already touched in the head and off the rip. I know some of you guys are okay. Right? But if you sat there and read that DJ Vlad thing and you were like, I knew it, it's Megan, it's Desiree Perez, it's fucking Jay-Z, I told you, you might need psychiatric help, gang. I'm just going to be honest. I'm sure Roc Nation does this their fair share of things for their artists and by nefarious means, maybe, right? But at the end of the day, all that shit Vlad wrote, it's silly, it's goofy, and it's really no reason to have a conversation, a back and forth with somebody that actually took that post and said, I told you. Now they're saying that now Vlad is coming clean, and Vlad might get murdered for coming clean. You guys got to actually figure out where you want to go in life. You probably want to throw your phone in the nearest creek, lake, or river. Stay off of the internet for at least a year because you're tapped. I'm just going to be honest. Like it's absolute stand-em that you're saying this because you want to believe whatever happened, whatever went on with Tory or Nicki or this, that, and the third, you want to believe it was whatever. So end of the day, to me, I don't care what you believe. I'm just here to tell you that some of this shit, you got to do better mentally. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't care whose side you on. I don't care. End of the day, understand that Vlad was being sarcastic. End of the story. Two things to walk away with. Vlad was being sarcastic. Lil Wayne ain't got no substance. End of the story. End of the tweet. That's it. That's all, folks. All right? Head on over to CLBMG. Let them know. Go over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Also, down in my bio, I got some links that will interest you. Temu, I got ReStream, I got DistroKid, right? The DistroKid one, you get 7% off for a whole year to promote your music on all streaming platforms, all right? Also, every Wednesday night, 9:15, 9:30, we go live on the What Show. We're going to discuss this, all right? Me, TJ, and Fliz. We didn't go live last week because Fliz's son was sick, but we will be here this week. Also, we got a video called This, That off the album called The What Project. And we spitting, rapping on there. And it got substance on there. It got all that. The whole album, it goes from one chamber to the other. It goes from the niggerish side to the smartest side. Rock the whole album. It's called The What, man. The What Project. I'm out of here, man. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6-man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within, with the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin, with the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin, and then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe and put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you, but I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.